The fourth guest, the fifth course. Fusion of traditions. With the starlit darkness receding, the restaurant took on a warm, golden hue, much like the final hour of sunlight on a lazy afternoon. Soft, uplifting music began playing, a blend of strings and light percussion that had an undeniably global flavor. There were hints of a Spanish guitar strum, an Indian tabla rhythm, and a Japanese shamisen twang, all weaving seamlessly. A colorful medley arrives. The four servers stepped forward once again, this time carrying tiered wooden stands, each with multiple small plates. My server placed the stand in front of me, then carefully arranged each plate on my tray. It was a visual festival of color. A small portion of tomato risotto, reminiscent of Italian cuisine, garnished with a basil leaf. A neatly wrapped fresh spring roll, filled with glass noodles, tofu, and Vietnamese herbs. A miniature naan-like flatbread, topped with curried chickpeas and chutney, echoing Indian flavors. A petite sushi roll with pickled vegetables, an homage to Japan. Each plate was no larger than the palm of my hand, a tasting portion that invited curiosity and delight. The concept was clear. Each dish drew from a different cultural tradition, perhaps reflecting the varied heritage at our table. Eating across cultures. We looked at each other in astonishment. AJ laughed with genuine joy. I see something that looks like a mini naan and chickpea curry. This is definitely Indian-inspired. Lan grinned. Fresh spring rolls with mint and basil? That's unmistakably Vietnamese, though smaller and more artful than I usually see. Kenji pointed at the sushi roll. Japan's influence is obvious here, but I wonder about the sauce. Looks like a yuzu soy drizzle? I beamed at the sight of the tomato risotto. That's definitely reminiscent of Italian risotto, but the portion is so tiny, like amuse-bouche style. It was both humorous and touching. The meal had, in a sense, united elements of each of our homes, or near homes in Kenji's case. We picked up the plates in whichever order we fancied. I began with the miniature risotto, curious to see how it tasted. A single spoonful packed an intense tomato flavor, balanced by a hint of vegan cheese or maybe nutritional yeast for creaminess. It triggered memories of my grandmother's kitchen in Italy. I closed my eyes, savoring the nostalgic wave that washed over me. AJ went for the naan first, exhaling an almost euphoric sigh after tasting the chickpea curry. "Oh, that's good," he remarked. "Spiced perfectly. Turmeric, cumin, a little chili. It's as authentic as some of the street food in Mumbai, just in a refined miniature form." Lan bit into the spring roll, nodding with approval at the fresh crunch of herbs. "It reminds me of home. There's even a little peanut dipping sauce. This is surreal, like the chef is sending us subtle messages about unity through flavors." Kenji tried the sushi roll. Clean flavors, pickled vegetables giving it a tangy punch. The sushi rice is perfectly seasoned, not too sweet, and that yuzu soy drizzle is exquisite. We rotated plates, each sampling the entire global medley. The music in the background seemed to echo this fusion, seamlessly blending instruments from each represented culture. Meanwhile, the digital projections on the walls shifted into a montage of iconic landscapes: the Venetian canals, the Mekong Delta, the Taj Mahal silhouetted at sunrise, and Kyoto's Arashiyama bamboo grove. They faded in and out, overlapping as if to say, "We are all connected." Revelations and laughter. Midway through this course, I found myself giggling. This is like a UNESCO meeting in food form. Lan agreed, her eyes bright. "Yes, but with better ambience. And no politics." AJ raised his naan piece triumphantly. "United Nations of Cuisine, let's toast." We tapped our mismatched utensils, my small spoon, Lan's chopsticks, AJ's naan, Kenji's sushi roll, in a playful mock toast. The sincerity of the moment, the sense of camaraderie that had grown between us, was palpable. I could almost see the invisible threads tying us together, built through shared vulnerability and mutual curiosity. Kenji's gaze moved to the swirling tapestry of international landmarks. I wonder, are we meant to realize that while we come from different places, we share a common hunger for connection and understanding? Lan nodded thoughtfully. Exactly. We each have a piece of the puzzle, but maybe it forms a larger picture when combined. AJ broke into a playful grin. And that picture is apparently delicious. We all laughed again, feeling the mood lighten after the emotional depth of the previous courses. Hints of the extraordinary. Still, a subtle undercurrent of mystery lingered. The servers had given us cryptic statements at times, referencing destiny and alignment of hearts. The music, the digital art, the synergy of the environment, it all suggested something bigger was at play than a mere concept restaurant. At one point, I discreetly observed the staff standing at the periphery. They were so still, almost statuesque, as if they didn't need to breathe. I squinted, wondering if it was a trick of the light, but each server seemed enveloped in a faint aura, a soft glow that wasn't merely reflection from the projections. My mind whirled with possibilities. Were they extremely disciplined humans? Monks in some futuristic order? Or something else altogether? Spiritual undercurrents. Toward the end of the course, AJ's expression grew thoughtful. In many cultures, sharing a meal is an act of communion, even sacred. In India, it's said that if you share food with someone, you share karma, forging a bond. Kenji agreed. In Japan, breaking bread, well, sharing rice, can be a very intimate act. You become part of one another's story. Lan looked at the rotating images of Vietnam on the walls. Back home, a meal can last for hours while family members talk, laugh, debate. Food is the medium for bonding. It's never just about eating. I swallowed a last bite of the risotto and nodded. In Italy, we have long dinners, sometimes with multiple courses, wine, conversation. Food is how we express love, how we console, how we celebrate. This meal echoes that, but on a universal scale. We all felt it. We were forging a bond, a familial sense, despite having been strangers just hours before. The synergy between us reminded me of family gatherings, except this time the family members were from 4 different parts of the globe. Yet the sense of belonging was just as strong, if not stronger, because it was guided by an unspoken higher design. Prelude to the finale. As we finished the final plate on our multicultural stands, the music shifted toward a gentle crescendo, blending the global instruments into a harmonious chord. The golden light brightened momentarily, illuminating our satisfied faces. One by one, the servers approached, collecting the empty plates. My server offered me a slight bow. I couldn't resist asking, "So what comes next?" She looked at me, her eyes radiating warmth. "The final course will bring resolution," she said softly. "But resolution often unveils new beginnings." Her cryptic words sent a small shiver of anticipation down my spine. A sense of near completion hung in the air, but also the inkling that we were on the cusp of some grand revelation. As the servers retreated, Lan exhaled slowly. "I can't believe we've gone through 5 courses. It feels like we've been on a journey without leaving our seats." AJ folded his hands, resting them on the table. "Yes, and I sense the final course will tie it all together. If the chef is orchestrating this, as I suspect, there's a big finale coming." Kenji's eyes flicked to the subtle patterns still dancing on the walls. "Whatever happens, I'm grateful. This has been more than just a meal. It's been healing for me to open up about my past. I appreciate you all." We responded with murmurs of appreciation in return. The hush returned, and we waited, hearts and minds open, for the grand culmination of this most unorthodox dining experience.